Happy Father's Day, everyone. On this day, we get to celebrate the traditional disciplinarian in the household, one of the key foundations to creating a successful family dynamic. But active fathers are becoming a dying breed. More and more people cannot truly celebrate this holiday, myself, unfortunately, included. I am Mr. Phan, and today I want to honor all of the active fathers out there. And I ask you, please watch this video in its entirety. For at the very end of this video, I have a very important message that I believe you should listen to. Now, before we dive into why active fathers are a dying breed and why it truly is a privilege to have an active father in your life, I must establish two key definitions in order to shut down any ill intent arguments that may come up and provide a basis of conversation. So, the first thing is, what is an active father? What do I mean by that? So, an active father is a biological man who is consistently parenting and guiding his child or his children to the best of his abilities to prepare his children or his child for the harsh realities of life. Now, the reason why this is the definition that we will use for this conversation is it intentionally includes stepfathers and father figures without excluding the traditional active biological father. So that's the first definition that we're using. The second definition that we need to establish is, what is a privilege? See, a privilege is a blessing. It is a major advantage in life granted to you, or granted to a person, I should say, due to conditions beyond that person's control. That's the key word, beyond your control. Let me give you an example. If you are born into a family that has multi generations of wealth and financial literacy, and you are basically going to inherit a company, inherit the multi generational wealth, inherit the knowledge that your family, your parents, their parents, and so on and so forth have taken the time to develop and fine tune. That is a privilege. The other side of the coin is being born into a poor family in which you work your ass off, in which you develop the skills you need in order to build your own wealth foundation and achieve financial literacy and financial freedom. In that situation, that person is not, wealth for him is not a privilege. It is a deserved and earned entitlement. So those are the two definitions that we need to establish as a basis in order to move forward. So keep those definitions in mind, okay? Now, a reality that unfortunately I've learned as I've grown older through time is that humans remember negativity a lot more easier than positivity for some reason. Negative information, negative news, even false rumors, it is easier for a human to remember that than it is to remember the positive aspects. So, with that kept in mind, I'm going to read these statistics from a negative perspective so that you can understand why having a father, an active father in your life, is actually a privilege. Okay? All right. If you do not have an active father in your life, you are 80% more likely to go to jail at least once in your lifetime. You are 7 times more likely to deal with teenage pregnancy. Here's a sad one. 63% of all youth suicides are from fatherless homes. 63%. The military is a close second for that one. And 75% of adolescents, kids, 3 out of every 4 kid in treatment for substance abuse are from fatherless homes. 3 out of 4. And this last stat affects me personally. You are 4 times more likely to grow up in poverty if you grew up in a fatherless home. 4 times more likely to grow up needing money, having to trade your precious time, years that you will never get back, for a measly $7.25 or whatever the minimum wage in your area is. Now, this is only 5 statistics that I wrote down. I will post the links down in the descriptions so that you can read all of the statistics for yourself. Now, moving forward, I do have some questions that I want you to seriously ponder. Seriously let it bug you to the point where you are moved to look it up and research yourself. Okay? Here's my first question. Why is it that in the 1950s, less than 10% of all households in the United States are single family homes? Yet in this year, 2023, some statistics, some surveys have shown that number to be as high as 25%. That's right, in less than 70, 80 years, it went from under 10% in the 1950s to as much as 25% in 2023. Why is it that there's a growing trend of single family households? Okay, so that's one. Keep that in your mind. Here's another question for you. Or actually, not a question. Here's a fact for you to keep in mind. Okay, of these single family households, 80% of them are single mothers, even though statistically and factually, single father households yield the same positive effects as a traditional 2-parent household, and single mother households are more likely, considerably, 4 or 5 times more likely, to create broken, abandoned children, more susceptible to a life of crime, illegal substances, and teenage pregnancies. Keep that fact in your head, okay? Now, I want to end this video on a positive note. And this is the message, if you have made it to this part in the video, that I want you to listen to very clearly, okay? If you have an active father in your life, first things first, thank God. Or if you're an atheist, thank your good luck. Be thankful for the fact that you were born or you received such a great privilege. Because there are so many broken families, so many fatherless children out there that wish they were in your shoes. Okay? And today is Father's Day. Today is a day to show your love and cherish that person who has been suffering in silence, who keeps his tears hidden behind closed doors, whose sweat, blood, and sacrifice allows you to live a life considerably better than most people in the world. And according to the stats, at least 25% of all children in the United States. So, how do you cherish your fathers? How do you cherish them? Tell them you love them. Tell them you appreciate them. But most importantly, show it with your actions. Make the effort to do their hobbies. It doesn't matter if you don't like it, make the effort. Because men, fathers, appreciate the effort more than anything. Because no one ever shows that effort. Okay? If their hobby is playing video games, try it. You might like it. You might lose a lot. But I guarantee you, he will remember and appreciate that. If his hobby is fishing, go give it a try. If his hobby is playing sports, going out for a walk, spend time and actively put in effort to do the hobbies that your father has found peace in. And I guarantee you he will remember that. Okay, and to all of the active fathers out there, I want to thank you on behalf of all your families for all that you have done for them, for the blood, sweat, tears, time, innumerable sacrifices that you have given to them. And I wish that you have an amazing Father's Day. And remember, it is a privilege, a dying privilege, for you to have an active father in your life. Have an amazing day.